So I want to start this bit with a little bit of a riddle. What 2000 Christopher Nolan film starring Guy Pearce shares the same name as this exhibition? Ironically, I can't actually remember, considering this whole piece is about film and memory, as each year that the From Page to Screen Festival runs, the Bridport Arts Centre love to do an exhibition based around the films that they're showing. And the films that they're showing here harken back to some of the Bridport locals' favourites, such as The Pumpkin Eater, one of the defining films of the European New Wave. And if you come over this way, we also have what I think is the most eye-catching bit of the exhibition, which is The Paper Moon from the film of the same name by Peter Bogdanovich. And my favourite part of all, as you can sit on it. And if you think I'm going to do a DreamWorks reference, then I must be quite predictable. So this exhibition likes to promote a lot of kind of interactivity and people really taking part in it. So we have this exhibition here where, as you can see, we've got some famous iconography from some of the most iconic films in cinematic history. And all I have to do is try and match them up. So this is going to test my film knowledge. I'm going to start with a box of chocolates. That's got to be Forrest Gump. Yeah. I don't remember that one in Toy Story, so I'm going to go with The Matrix on that one. Oh yes, unicorn. It does answer a really good question. Is that main character from Blade Runner, is he a replica at the end? We can discuss that one later. We've got the Chianti and the Fava Beans, I mean. Anthony Hopkins, absolute legend. That's Jesse's hat, of course it is. Yeah, so I don't remember the monkeys or HAL 9000 wearing that at all. We've got two left. So the bone, I thought that's got to be 2001. You've got the bone like, it's like that. And then, I've not actually seen this one, but it only leaves one left. Did I get them all right? I've got, oh, that's fine. You know what, I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah.
Well, my name's Christopher Hampton. I'm a playwright and screenwriter. I'm here in Bridport curating the annual festival From Page to Screen.
What was your kind of spark or inspiration to start going into like playwriting and screenwriting?
Well, I'd always wanted to be a writer. I didn't particularly know what sort of a writer. And when I was 18, I wrote a stage play, just experimentally, and it sort of really worked for me. By later in the year, the play had been taken up and put on at the Royal Court Theatre and moved to the West End.
I just wanted to ask, what was it like being in the Academy Awards and winning your first Oscar, really? How was that?
It was a completely different deal then, than because we're talking about 1989. It was much more casual. It wasn't all this fantastic hype that there is about around it now. But we all went over to Los Angeles on the Thursday. Of course, it was fantastically unexpected and amazing to win. But you know, we had a party and then we all went back to London the next day. And so it was very, you know. And the second one was during COVID, so I didn't even have to make a speech.
I'm Francine Stock. I'm a journalist with a fairly long track record with film. I'm also a novelist, and I am a former curator of the Bridport From Page to Screen Festival.
What was it that kind of pushed you or inspired you to get into like the journalism industry?
Well, I'd always been interested, even from school to a bit, and then right the way through university I did some student journalism as well. I actually worked in print first before I joined the BBC. After that, I switched over to doing more art stuff, which was also coincided with my starting to write, which I'd always wanted to do, but never really quite had the confidence to do.
Obviously, you mentioned as well that you are a novelist and you've written books. Where were you able to kind of start getting into that? Was this more later into your career, or was this earlier on?
I wanted right from the outset to write fiction, but then there was not enough time, and I think possibly I didn't really have the confidence probably to do it as well. And then I had a little bit of time off. I was actually ill, and I was in hospital for a while. And I thought, well, might as well have a go now. And I was very lucky in that my first novel did really quite well, and that sort of gave me the confidence to go on after that, although I've also written non-fiction as well.
Well, what's interesting to me, having seen the film, is that this is a film about paranoia and about feeling that the world is hostile to you and pressing in on you. There was this co-starring role with Jack Nicholson,
and Roman had always wanted to do it. Roman told him what the story was, didn't make much sense to him, but it wasn't expensive. We asked for $2 million. He said, here's the $2 million, I'll see you at the premiere. We were shooting the film at the end of September because we were able to write the script, build the sets, cast it because we had the money. And it was just a wonderful way. It's the way films should be made because there's a momentum, momentum is extremely important. When you lose it, it's very hard to get it back again.
When a film has that sort of momentum and goes straight from conception to script to casting to shooting, there's a tremendous energy.
Well, it's an absolute delight to be back in Bridport, and thank you very much indeed for inviting me. It's a film that is both very romantic and also quite wry and quite tough. It's a film that is both very intimate, but also has the scope of giant kind of, big melodrama of operatic scale as well. It's a film that was not successful in its own time, but actually later proved influential on a whole lot of directors. Fontaine is a big star. She's already won an Oscar for Suspicion, but she's also demonstrated form as a kind of tremulous or shy woman with a kind of steely resolve underneath. So she's been the second Mrs. De Winter in Rebecca, and she's been Jane Eyre as well. But for now, please enjoy Letter from an Unknown Woman. Thanks.
We had a female director and female cinematographer. So together, the atmosphere on set was incredibly sensitive and incredibly gentle. It was a uniquely kind of feminine experience, which I really valued.
Do you want to talk a little bit about the sort of what's historically accurate and what is speculative in the film?
Frances sort of never pretended that she was trying to make a hugely accurate biopic. A lot isn't known about Emily, so the whole thing is a kind of imagining with kind of her connection to the material of Wuthering Heights and her connection to the Brontes.
It was a great pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very, very much. And when you see Frances, tell her that we all liked it.
I will. Thank you, guys.